This is gonna be bumpy and bad. We are garbage. Just trash.
Boring.
How's everybody feeling about this? I can't imagine things getting much worse.
It's the Southern One Sci-Fi Podcast.
For this cookie! Nom 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 oh nom 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 nom. Ah. Bye-bye.
This is episode 210 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. I'm Michael Ball, and we are joined by our usual, very faithful co-host of By the Gods of Science Fiction, Martin Fowler. Hello, Martin.
Hello.
And also Malcolm Patterson.
Hello.
Hiya. We will hopefully be joined very shortly by Jay from SciTrek and Tachyon Pulse podcast, but we are doing this now straight away because you guys have got commitments and we want to get as much in before you both have to go your separate ways. So we will, unfortunately, you'll just have to join us midway, but it's just nothing we can do about that. So first of all, guys, how are you doing?
All good.
I'm good. I'm superb. Absolutely superb.
Good. Do you want to talk about your filming, or is this something you wanted to share later on? Or?
Yeah, I can talk about some. I had 3 weeks to film it. Finished it on Saturday, 10 o'clock at night. Like to thank all the cast. Superb. We got it done. Start the editing next week.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
If you want any, once you get a bit further along, if you want any imagery or anything with respect to what you're doing, I can do something. Mix of Photoshop and AI.
Yeah, I'll send you the stuff to do the Photoshop in the next week or so.
That's fine, no problem. And how about you?
But honestly, it's been 6 months.
Yeah, you've been talking about this for a long time, haven't you? So I mean, it's not. It's finally.
I'm very happy. Honest, I'm ecstatic.
Brilliant, that's fantastic.
And then I watched it last night.
I know. Well, before we talk about it, let's just quickly ask Malcolm: have you done anything interesting since we last talked to you 2 weeks ago? Anything your end?
No, I'm still working on my. I'm still working on my Blake 7 gun.
How's that
and
going?
Yeah, because you wanted sound files, more
stuff. So
and...
now I don't the range. I'm trying to get into resin casting now, but I also started work on.
Yeah, go on. Let's have a look.
I like to do 15 different projects.
I love this.
What's that?
What do you reckon this is, Martin?
Oh,
that's the Terran Federation gun.
Exactly, because I like to work on
Is it the rifle?
Yeah.
How are you doing the telescopic bit? How are you going to do that?
Well, the guy I spoke to, I got chatting very quickly with a guy who makes a lot of props. He's the guy who built the full size flight deck control panel thing. I've been chatting to him, and he sent me a link to. He said basically they used a tripod leg. And he sent me a link to one on eBay, and he said if you want to do it the way they did it, this is the part they used. So I don't know. I might do it. I might make it. But he said any area will do it. Basically,
to me, it looks like a puddle jumper from Stargate Atlantis for some reason. Just when you showed it.
Yeah, no, this is the Federation rifle.
I've got that. Okay, that's cool. Brilliant. I mean, I need to learn all that stuff. I've done some 3D printing, but since we moved house, the printer's been sort of stored away, and it's a bit sort of old now. But it's a great thing to do. I've done a few things, but it's very enjoyable, creative stuff. And there's lots of like Thingiverse, lots of sites out there where they can actually give you, obviously the shape graphics and things. You can just put it into your machine, get some of the what's the stuff you put in the not toner? What's the stuff that you use to print it? That's a word for it. Filament. Yeah, that's it. And you get different quality ones as well, can't you?
You get different types: PLA, TPU, ABS, PETG. It depends what you want to use it for.
So does it fluctuate then in respect to what it could do based on the actual different materials, or am I saying a bit naive?
Yeah, but TPU is, for instance, soft and squidgy. PETG has a higher temperature and it's a lot stronger.
Okay.
There are carbon fiber ones if you want to go into the realms of having to change your nozzle and all that, because some of the carbon fiber is really abrasive and will destroy your nozzle.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's a fun thing to do, but like I said, I've just not done it for a while. Now we're also joined, Jay from the Tachyon Pulse podcast. I'm still used to calling you from SciTrek, and we're talking about 3D printing and filaments and stuff. How are you, Jay? You're on mute, mate. You're on mute. Oh, your mute's on there. You got your. There we go. Should be able to hear.
I've never
now.
used Zoom. I mean, 15 years.
I know, but I'm no good with StreamYard. Every time I use it, it always messes up my computer. So
I met Anson Deck last week.
you met Anton Deck?
I did. I spoke to him for an hour. Yeah.
Oh, you poor sod.
I know. I was in a theatre experience, and Anson Deck was a secret host that came walking in, and I know you hate them.
I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest
like
fan.
you, but I met them, and they're both very nice people. And
Okay.
shoot me down. They're very nice.
Did you get a
people.
picture of them or something like that? Did you get a selfie with them or anything like that?
No, you weren't allowed to.
Oh yeah. When I've been to
That's
science
this
fiction,
experience when the public come in.
yeah.
They're not allowed. They don't know what worlds they're going into.
It's funny. I mean, I've not
environments. Yeah,
been to
we
many.
won't take photos. Yeah,
I've
but
not
I
been
did speak to them. They're both very nice.
Okay. All right.
And,
Okay.
And I forget. I said to them both. I said my co-host forgives you.
You did? Did you? Did you really say that?
Okay.
Oh God! Well, don't post a link to our channel anyway. So,
Yeah.
hello,
Hello,
Jay.
Anton Deck.
No, that's enough of them. Man. Let's talk about. Let's talk about something which is actually better than Anton
Worse.
Deck.
No.
That's saying it, isn't it? I mean, hello, Jay. How are you? How's things on the Tachyon Pulse podcast? Your new channel.
I'm on SciTrek still as well.
Yes, but how do we? What's the priority? Because obviously you've got a SciTrek mug there to your
Indeed.
right. So that's still the plug, is it?
SciTrek is where we do all the lives.
Okay.
So, and other people get involved. So it's become a community thing, SciTrek, or will be.
Obviously, I've subscribed to the new. I've
just
subscribed to the new one as well, so I'm checking out all your.
Well,
And
that's just-
oh, it's it all helps, and I've been checking out your latest post going on about that Alex Kurtz, when is he going, and then are we going to get a season 3 of the new Doctor Who, and it's all looking a bit dodgy. Do you want to elaborate about that quickly before we go into our focus?
Well, I mean, the Doctor Who thing is just really based on whether Disney want to go ahead with it or not. And I'm being told we'll go 50-50 at best, but it's not looking great. They've got a few, we'll say, concerns. The deal was actually supposed to be agreed in October, but they paused it and they said, look, let's see how the Christmas special goes.
And it didn't go very well. Did it?
Paused it again.
Yeah.
No.
That's ongoing.
Okay.
I'm told it probably is. Disney will sign and give them the money they need if they can figure out something around the back catalogue, is what I'm being told, basically.
Oh, okay.
What the back
That makes
catalogue.
sense. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
And,
That's more of an incentive, isn't it?
yeah, but if not, the BBC won't pay for it.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't even get their old budget back.
They need to bring back Blake 7. That's what they need to do.
There you go. Well, we got a plan.
I also heard that Red Dwarf was supposed to be coming back with 3 specials this year, but apparently there's a financial issue with that. I mean, they are pretty old now, but I would like to see it, maybe the story finish in some way. But
Yeah, I would.
you know what I mean. So
Well, Red Dwarf's one of those again that it's been green lit,
yeah,
but the BBC will only fork up about a third of the budget. The creators then have to go away and try and find a partner to pay for the rest of the
because
budget.
Dave did it before, didn't it? Dave, the TV channel, was involved with it, wasn't it?
Before, yeah.
Are they no longer
Honestly,
involved?
Red Dwarf's concerned, I haven't really been a fan since Rob Grant left. To me, it seemed that he was by far and away the funniest person of the two. Once he left,
I liked some of the new stuff.
Massive
Actually.
nosedive.
I didn't mind some of the new ones, but they are flogging a dead horse, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time.
I'd like to see a special where they get to Earth.
Yeah,
and just finish it.
yeah.
As soon as they tried to sell to America, it lost me.
What do you say,
Remember when
Jay?
they did
Sorry?
one season? Do you remember one season they did like 10 episodes or something?
Yeah.
It was to fill an American sort of season, and they lost me after that.
Okay, yeah, no, that was season 8. That's season 8, I think.
7 or something. And then it went,
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, it's got a lot of episodes out of it, so that's compared to like episodes of new shows, which are literally 8 to 10 episodes a season. It's like the same, So anyway, we've all joined together today to talk about something which we've all seen, and it's certainly been a unique experience as Star Trek fans. I don't know. I practically lost the will to live after watching this thing, but I did watch it. I tried to watch it again because we're reviewing it, and I fell asleep in it. But I had sort of memorized it, and I've looked at other channels, and it's not very well liked generally by most people. Like, do you think that's a fair comment to say at this early stage? Or is it you? Jay loves it. Jay loves it. Where's the poster behind you then?
Well, it was fucking amazing. It's honestly the greatest 96 minutes of my life.
Really?
No, it wasn't. I really
no. I was going to say, I'm sure your life's been a bit better than that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So
I've got teenage boys though, actually, so it's like.
But the thing is, I mean, I was on with what's it called, Nick on Sci-Trek.
No, you weren't.
Sci-Fanatic, sorry. Sci-Fanatic, sorry. I've had a busy day today. And we had a great discussion about it, and I think you checked out some of it. And just, I think for me, initially, the problem is that it just didn't seem like a Star Trek entity or example from the franchise.
God, sorry, David Brent just scared the crap out of me.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, Lord. It was a person behind you.
Michael Scott now. He's
I was like, Mike, there's someone behind me.
Yeah, obviously I haven't seen it. Yeah, I've got all sorts of weird stuff behind me on the green screen, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what the hell was this all about? Come on, guys. Why did they make this? Why couldn't they have seen all the problems initially?
I saw it for the first time last night, and I made a cup of tea, I sat down, put it on the telly, I watched it, and within 20 minutes I thought, this isn't Star Trek, this isn't even Section 31. I'm watching a series about a load of renegades doing something. They had a cheap £10 pound shop Borg.
Pound shop Borg, okay.
Lots of backflips, beating people up, and they were in the same studio set for like an hour. And I just thought, like, why have they bothered making this? And then I saw at the end, producer Michelle Yeoh, and I thought, this is Section 31. I'm going to say this, and you can shoot me down. There could have been some potential in this, but she ended up running her Witherspoons in outer space.
Basically.
Right.
But was she the main producer? I mean, she could have just been the producer in charge of makeup.
Yeah, I know.
Was she the main one?
Like the old thing, I sat there and I thought, what has this got to do with Star Trek? Section 3, if it had been a political drama, like Federation trying to manipulate something or something, and it were intrigue and I think it could have worked. But what I saw last night was just absolute crap.
Well, we didn't actually see hardly any members of the Federation. We saw an Andorian having a shag and getting disturbed.
Oh, there was the black and white alien.
Oh, yeah, from Let This Be the final battlefield. Yeah. Even though the whole race was dead, they're all dead. Yeah. But there's one survived. Which
Witherspoons.
Yeah, I think that's an issue that, another issue is that there wasn't really much in the way of Federation representatives. We saw a Deltan that got killed off after about 5 minutes. We saw a Cameloid that changed very different from the Cameloid from Star Trek 6. We had the Cockney bio sort of mechanical man, the guy, I can't remember the actor, but he's a big Star Trek fan. I didn't actually mind his character.
Jasinski.
Yeah. What about the annoying Vulcan, the Irish Vulcan?
You mean the Vanral disease that lived inside him?
Yeah, from Men in Black with your neuralizer that you just got.
I put a comment on us that Star Trek's got its own Jar Jar Binks. It's a character that we can all unify together and hate in unison.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much a not very popular character. But from what I understand, though, this was initially going to be a proper whole series, which was then eventually cut down to it's going to be specials or something, and then it got cut down again because of Michelle Yeoh getting the Oscar, and it just became a sort of TV movie. Does anybody else?
Nick on it now.
What's that?
They're blaming the pandemic on why it didn't get a series initially.
But the pandemic's been finished 5 years ago. I mean, you tell me that after 5 years they're still blaming the pandemic?
That's crazy. That's ridiculous. I mean,
But yeah, it was supposed to be a series, and then but then Paramount did offer Michelle Yeoh out of the contract because she was.
yeah, I heard that. I heard that.
They offered her to get out of it, and she said, "No, I really want to do it." And your mention about Malcolm about the producer role, a producer credit, a lot of the time isn't really. I mean, obviously, producers can be incredibly integral to the plot, but a lot of the time, producers are like organizing things on set and stuff. It can also.
This is my point. She could have just been in charge of the fight scenes.
Well, it
given her
can just be an
background, that could have been purely all she
honorary
did.
thing as well. It can just be a credit, to sort of say,
Because she's put some money in, she gets a producer credit.
I mean, for minutes there, which is crap. There were no character development. I did like the augmented guy, the
Zeph was really
Zeph,
good.
yeah, Zeph was one of
he's
the
a
best.
good actor. He was sort of an interesting character.
Rob's
And then we got into the whodunit thing for half.
What, the guy in the big stupid suit?
Yeah, I didn't mind him. Did you hate him, Malcolm? No.
Yeah, no, to tell you the truth, right? I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's just not Star Trek." And to be brutally honest, they always say that Deep Space Nine wasn't Star Trek, so they gave me shit. But it's still not Star Trek because they're not invested. They're not.
It is a usual,
anywhere.
yeah.
So
They
had
normally say
Voyager.
that, yeah.
They are very much going somewhere, but it's still not Star Trek. So I don't care. I was looking for not Star Trek. We've seen the spaceships going around. We've got the Strange New Worlds. We've got a starship going from world to world and what have you. So I wanted something new. So the opening 5 minutes where she walks in and kills her family were fucking epic. I think I even sent you a message that said, like, now I'm interested. This is what I want to see. Dark as fuck. But then that stupid voice comes on, which I assume by now
Jamie
is Jamie Lee
Curtis,
Curtis.
yes, yeah.
And then we hit that nightclub, and I'm very sorry, but Michelle Yeoh is not and never will be sexy and sultry. She's not. She's about as sexy as a vomit splat. I don't understand why they keep trying to make her this kind of like, oh, kind of thing. Oh, you'll do what I say because I'm sexy. I don't get it. And then from then it just went downhill, like rapidly downhill. Every character they introduced pissed me off. And the Delton one, when they made Star Trek the motion picture, they introduce you to the Delton.
Alia.
You get a brief little thing on her that she's like, got these pheromones that attract men. They tell you that in 2 seconds. Every boy in the cinema is in love with her immediately. And when she dies, you felt it. You were like, fuck, you killed her off already, bastards. This woman, you couldn't give a shit. She didn't pull it off. When she died, you didn't care. I don't know. And it's just like that with all their characters. You didn't give a shit about any of them. Couldn't care less when they died.
There was no direction with the story or the writing at all. It
didn't make sense.
It didn't.
And then
there
when
was no logic in the story. This film is called Section 31, but you look over Malcolm's shoulder now. The first guy is actually Section 31. Zeph isn't. She is. Michelle Yeoh was Section 31, but now isn't. But she was convinced to come back in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, no, I'm not coming back. Go on.
I found with the ending,
Federation, and he's not Section 31 either. So this is more. They should have called it the bloody Dirty Dozen, not Section 31. There's only him.
That's what I mean. It was like renegades in space, and it was like it started off. I agree with Mark. It started off epic. It did that scene, especially with the Empire troops beaming down. That was just. I thought this is going to be good, and then it just went somewhere else. And by the end of it, I was hoping we'd see a Terran Empire fleet in the entranceway. We didn't even get that.
Which resembled Federation ships. We didn't get any.
Yeah. I was hoping for that.
They also, as I understand it, they've sent that device back and basically blown up the mirror universe, which we know they didn't because it's still around.
We see it later on in the DS9.
So what did they do?
Destroyed the gateway.
Yeah.
That was what I assumed. Through, but like many things in this movie, they didn't actually explain it. Really,
they didn't explain anything.
No, at the very end, we have to assume that she's gonna. Yeah, at the very end, we have to assume that she's going to do the noble thing and be sacrificed and all that. But for no reason. They don't tell you any reason why she isn't getting off the ship. She isn't running to an escape pod. We get the one-off line about the transporters not being working, but there's no reason to understand why she just stands there and takes it. And then even less of a reason why Matey Boy also thinks, oh, hold your hand, I'll go with you, and all that. So they try and build up this epic kind of, end of their story arcs, they both sacrifice themselves for the Greek, and then we discover that they're not anyway. The transporter doesn't work, but the guy still managed to get them off because we need to set it up for a series, which hopefully it never will.
I mean, like that little thing, that little nanite creature that existed, It was like the concept was interesting.
When are they going to actually do accents?
But it didn't work, did it? It just didn't work.
No.
When they interviewed
when he came back with the American accent at the end,
they say, "Can you do accents?" I'm a new or something. Just like, can't then. Oh, okay. Thank you. Goodbye. Next.
When he came back with the American accent at the end, and I thought, oh, so he, Irish or American? Where's the cultural appropriation? Who is it? Then I looked up. He's English. So both of them.
Oh, he's English.
And all that. So I don't get how are you allowed to get away with it? Yeah, he's an English guy, so he's not Irish or American. So how's he not being cancelled now for cultural appropriation? I don't get it. I don't know what the rules are on it now. I don't know what you're allowed to imitate and not.
He was so annoying. He wasn't funny. He was just irritating a Jar Jar, Trek character. He was,
Fundamental problems with this film, though, is
the
problem I had with it. Right, so they are not allowed, the Federation are not allowed to cross this border, even though we've seen them cross that border several times. But let's assume that at this point in time they weren't allowed to. The Badlands was on that side of the border,
right?
And Voyager did. So we can only assume that something's changed in the meantime. Even though the map that showed the border that they're not allowed to cross very clearly showed a Starfleet Federation starbase on the other side.
They did, yeah.
So we'll ignore that as well. But then they said, well, the Federation cannot be involved in this because of this thing, but we will send an acting Federation officer with you.
Right,
it makes no sense. No, it's like idiotic.
It won't work like that. If you've got a Black Ops team and they're off the books, that's what you send in. You won't have a registered Starfleet officer. Look at Deep Space Nine with Section 31. They go in.
Yeah, what happened to the big shadowy organization operating in the background? And then you get these flamboyant fuck-ups on there. I don't get William Sadler. If he's still alive and watching this, he must be just like, what have you done?
Yeah, but they were the complete opposite to what we saw.
They don't understand Deep Space Nine when they made Section 31.
They were a shadow organisation.
They didn't understand it.
Manipulated planets and did the dark stuff. And then you got this bunch of Muppets. And it were like, we're at Witherspoons, and then we're off over there in a dustbin truck to stop this empire.
Garbage truck. Garbage truck.
What the hell was that?
Apparently.
What the hell was those little flame things bursting when they're walking through the desert? They're flames coming out every time to accentuate what they're saying. Every time they say something, there's a flame as if to make the point as they're walking along. Who greenlit that?
Yeah, I noticed that. I thought, what the hell is this?
Maybe Alex Kurtz's been had a curry or something. I don't know.
The picking tricorders. Right? So there are so many things about this movie that annoy me. The tricorders are clearly
iPhones.
Sorry?
They're iPhones, aren't they?
Yeah. They're iPhones with little torches on top.
Yeah.
But they make the same sound as the original series.
Did that. We did this on the other one. Exactly.
They make the original sound as the original series tricorders because obviously somebody must have thought, oh crap, you better put something Star Trek-y in this.
Yeah, no one's going to recognize it.
And they're like, it's just, again, it's idiotic. It's more advanced than the tricorders in TNG.
Yeah.
You just got to go, what were you thinking? They could have put Star Trek into this because they had the Mirror Universe starships and that they had a Section 31 starship, but it looks nothing like any starship we've ever seen before. Why did they do that? Why didn't they just put in a design that we would, as Trekkies, go, oh, that's a ship, or at least make it look like. I think it was you, Mike, that said on that other podcast. You said if you watch this with the volume off, you would not know it was Star Trek.
No, you wouldn't.
100% true.
And I was comparing it with the Acolyte, whereas at least the Acolyte was bad as well. You would recognize it with the volume off as being Star Wars. If you see the lightsabers, you see the clothing, you see some of the ships resemble it. But this thing,
as I said, the only thing of Star Trek I really wanted to see in this, I wanted to see the amoral side of Section 2. I wanted to see like the Rachel Garrett. I want to see Federation officers getting in their way and them going like, well, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
and all that. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, talking about the Prime
you just shot
Directive.
two Federation guys. Yeah, well, they
Nothing.
got in the way, mate. We'll
Couldn't
scrub.
give a
They
shit,
needed
could
a
they?
plot, but they needed a plot with this that made sense. But obviously, it was something that needed to be done, but it was dirty. Do you know what I mean? It was like something that you like in Deep Space Nine, where Cisco murders the Romulans. You know,
Renak, yeah.
Something like that. Something like it's got to be done, but you know, the nice and shiny Federation can't do it.
Well, that's because it's got good writing. No, because the DS9 was so well written and it was such cleverly thought out and it had such a great payoff. This thing, what the fuck?
This would have worked if it had been full of political intrigue.
It wasn't. It was just
if
a
they'd
mess.
have gone to the Romulan homeworld or the Klingons,
it's almost like
manipulating a certain thing that benefits the Federation, and it was very political. They could have played that beautifully, and they squandered it into this thing. Whatever what I watched last night wasn't Section 30.
They could be asked, isn't it? It's like, right,
it almost seems to me like
a bomb. We'll just do a bomb. A bomb's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seemed to me like they had several scripts for the TV series or several basic concepts, and they just cherry-picked bits and pieces from what would have been various different episodes.
Threw it
they
together.
Just cherry-picked the bits that they really wanted to show on screen, and then just kind of, that will work. And
chuck it in there, see if it sticks.
ChatGPT, we've got these 10 hours of scripts. Can you please condense it into a 90-minute movie?
Yeah.
And Siri's there going, yes, no problem.
Did you think it looked cheap?
No, I think it looked like a double episode of Discovery.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it wasn't
The
like
budget about $25 million. It was about the budget for a double episode of.
Yeah.
And that was after paying Michelle Yeoh $3 million.
Is that what she got? God, $3 million. Wow,
apparently.
That's a lot. Well, didn't you say on your channel that you apparently the Paramount Plus figures have been quite well received, and potentially there could be some sort of sequel to this thing? Jay, was that you? I'm sure that you said something.
I think that was Sean Ferrick.
Was it Sean? Oh, sorry.
The video you said. No, I've said Skydance are furious.
Oh, are they?
Apparently.
Okay.
I've spoken to a couple of people that are loosely in and around Skydance at the moment because they're working with them over the procurement.
Okay.
Moving as Paramount, and apparently, they're furious. They're sort of like they should just the attitude being that they shouldn't have done it. It was sort of like a creative decision to go ahead with it just because it was Michelle Yeoh and she was willing. And there was sort of and it was almost like, oh, we can't do it properly, but we can do it. So let's just crack on. And the people at Skydance that have spoken, this is all second, third, fourth hand, obviously, but it's people I've spoken to have said that there were few. The attitude is you shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
As soon as you realised it wasn't going to work, you shouldn't have done it. What they've done is they've forced it because. And the other thing was, Michelle Yeoh said, "Yeah, okay, we'll crack on, but it's got to be done by this date."
Okay.
And she basically gave them 8 months to get it done. It was just too quick. They couldn't rework the script. They didn't have time. So they just went, "We'll just do it."
So it's a combination of issues that basically form together to create all this negative kind of aspect, this sort of mess because of the circumstances. And it's strange because, you know, even the initial kind of trailers from it just didn't look good from anything we saw from the beginning when this was first actually publicized that this was coming in 2025. It looked like shite. And it really was.
The idea, they didn't even really seem to know what they were making. An action movie, a carry-on film, a parody. they didn't know what they were doing. You know, it's just pick a genre and stick to it.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to make Star Trek, apparently.
No. And sci-fi comedy is phenomenally hard to do. Almost no one pulls it off. So don't bother with trying to make it funny.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's just a strange contradiction of things.
You know, I know that they were on the table a couple of years ago. They were going to do Khan's life story about his ascent to power. I would have rather have seen that in 3 movies. You know, Khan knowing his ascent to power and how he leaves Earth. I would rather have seen that. And they dropped that for this.
That reminds me when the guy gives his big, I was an orc captured by the Orkmans, his main speech, the optimum speech, and he delivered it like someone reading a phone book. It was just, who picked this guy? Who got him? What were his acting chops? The only reason I could think he got the job was because he looks a lot like Common, the ex-rapper turned actor, and is a lot cheaper, obviously, because he can't act.
Yeah.
But that whole speech was his. That was his world into the future of acting roles, and I don't think he's going to be offered anything on the back of that.
That whole introduction sequence, though, where they all introduced each other, or they all were introduced to Michelle Yeoh, was incredibly awkward. And I compared it to when you get a new job and you've got to go to like your first day.
The icebreakers.
The awkwardness of the first day. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Jamie. I like Star Trek, and it was really bad. Yeah. My favorite ever was the lady stood up and went, "Hello, my name is Louise." It wasn't a real name. My name is Louise. I'm head of HR here at this new company I'm working for, and I'm into water sports. And sat down, and like the next person stood up, and I'm like, nobody's gonna point out that she just said she really likes water sports. No one. Okay, that'll just be me then.
I mean, if I was going after, I would have stood up and said, "I really want to get into water sports. Can you and me?"
Water sporting, baby. I like BDSM and scatting and move next. It was just awkward, but it was just bad. You're just writing it, just going like, I feel embarrassed for you watching it. It's just no.
I mean, the whole thing was
so many continuity errors. Did you know?
I'll tell you one I was thinking
do a
about.
drinking game, continuity errors instead of Section 31.
Here's one that confused me, right? You know, at the beginning we saw Michelle Yeoh's, Giorgio's, is it the brother? The one where they were going to be the runner-up to become the emperor. Who was the one? Was it who was it? A brother?
Lover.
It was a
lover.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But later on, they obviously met up. But Giorgio had gone further into the future because obviously when she was before the Terran Empire, it was before the Discovery era. But then when she came back from the Guardian Forever in Discovery, she went back to Rachel Garrett's era, which is about 20 years before the Enterprise C. So wasn't she about 40 or 50 years ahead? So how come she met up?
Continuity error?
No, but it's a really big one, isn't it? It's 50 years out. She's 50 years out of time. Nobody seems to pick that out. She was like in the 23 20s, but she left.
That's thinking about this movie more than I want to.
I know. I'm a bit sorry.
But yeah, what was it? 2342.
Yeah. And obviously, she would have come from the 2260s. Discovery was about 2263 or something like that.
4 TOS, yeah. So
yeah, just another slight canonical, temporal issue, I should say.
The other thing that kind of annoyed me is they've got the black and white dude. They've got the Andorian. They've got Rachel Garrett. They've got a few other things. They just feel like they were shoehorned in. Is this like when they were writing the scripts? They've almost got like the Star Trek encyclopedia, and they just flick through and stop at a random page. Right, Rachel Garrett, she's in it.
Yeah, I can say that. Bang.
The
and then you sort of like you put your finger down on the page, and boom, what's that? Oh, Rachel Garrett. Yeah, chuck her in.
Yeah, just have a big thing on the phone, like a sticky tail.
That's it.
It was kind of that, just stuff put in for the trailer. Like, do you remember when Doctor Who made a really big thing of the Mavellians? You know, they've been seen, they've been filmed. Here's a new, and then that one-page picture turned out to be all that was in the episode. It was just literally he looked, there were the Mavellians, and then that's it. And it was done purely for the purposes of a trailer, and that's why this, the Bilal black and white character was in it, for no other reason than just to make people think, oh yeah, I'll watch this, see how they bring that.
An Easter egg, but because they don't give a crap about Star Trek. Like, so when you get Easter eggs in Marvel, they're always thought ahead years in advance. Or when Marvel was good anyway, not so much now. I think they've lost their way a little bit. But in the earlier Marvel movies, they drop an Easter egg in like Iron Man that they wouldn't pay off until like Infinity War or something. Yeah, and it was always so clever. Oh my god, I remember that from the.
Yeah, it's like the memory connection. So
Exactly. But with this, they've forgotten we're geeks and that we actually care about this shit. And they're like, oh, how come Rachel Garrett is nothing like Rachel Garrett that we saw? How come that the black and white dude should be dead?
Yeah.
How come the shape-shifting dude is completely different to the shape-shifting woman we
Yeah,
saw?
and look different when they change shape as well. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like, why?
Why make it? Now,
To be fair with the black and white dude, I mean, that planet is a spacefaring race because they pick him up in a space. So it is possible other ones have left the planet, but
Yeah,
whether they would still be alive at this point and not just died of old age
it
is.
would have been 80 years later.
it takes away from the point of the episode, though, doesn't it? Because that was the thing. The point of the episode is that they destroyed
Yeah.
themselves. So by taking away,
I think with Star Trek now, they need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I
They
know.
really do. After that yesterday,
Listen, we've got to stop it Zoom again because of the unfortunate limit. So, are you guys all right to come back in 10 minutes just to finish off? How are you all doing time-wise? I know you two have got to shoot off.
6 o'clock's my.
All right, so let's stop it now.
You've got to come back quick, mate. I've got to go off.
All right, so let's do a 10-minute pause. We'll come back. We'll finish off, guys. All right. Sorry, that's right, Jay. Sorry, mate. Just this Zoom thing. It's all pain. So we'll be right back, guys. Okay. Sorry. See you in a minute, guys. I hate Zoom. And we're back in a sort of rushed episode because everybody's busy with all sorts of things, but we're going to sort of finish off and wrap things up. So, what point were we at the end of this before we came out? I think we're just talking more about the whole the way it was all sort of thrown together.
Well, we all came to the conclusion that it was crap.
Really? Is that your kind of deep analysis of this whole?
I think so. Yeah, keep it simple. It was crap.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think so.
I think now, if I was going to make a new Star Trek series, I think I'd probably spend on the Romulans. I would do a series on what was going on Romulus while they weren't dealing with the Federation, and not like an 8-episode crappy thing. I mean, I'm talking like a full 7-season, 24-episode about like the Romulans, their darkness behind what caused them to come back to the Federation in the first place when they'd gone away. What made them come back?
Have they planned in the past to make a full Klingon show before? I think I seem to remember hearing ideas about that.
Michael Dorn kept trying.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, like on the Klingon homeworld.
I think it'd been talked about once or twice, but not on the Secret Hideout.
I don't think there's enough to the Klingons. We've seen them all. They're too out in the open.
Look, to be honest, they had the opportunity with Legacy, and that's not happened.
But we wanted to see Seven again. But do we really want another starship flying around from planet to planet?
Yeah.
Haven't we had that all the time now?
Section 31 though should have been about the Romulans. It would have been.
Yes, basically.
The Romulan War was around. I think. So the Romulans were. We weren't speaking to them at the time, were we? I don't think. I have to try to remember my Romulan history now. But if they'd have done something about the Romulans, they could have done a political spy.
That's what I'm saying.
The idea from the movie Star Trek 6, where the Klingons and the Federation, the nefarious ones, actually work together to make sure the two didn't ever work together. That's what you could have done. You could have had Romulan spies and Section 31 conspiring to ensure the war happened.
Yeah,
something like
playing
that.
a game of political intrigue.
And that, of course, the Star Trek 6 storyline was taken into unification with the Next Generation with Spock. They used that idea and they carried it over as a link to the 6th movie and the Next Generation when they had Leonard Nimoy actually appearing, which I thought was clever. You could have seen Section 31 being involved with that in some way, couldn't you? What's that?
It's the unification double episode, you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
The TV. Yeah. Okay. I think they let's be honest, they could have done almost anything. So again, the contrived reason they had the Section 31 said, well, you've got to get Giorgio to be involved, even though they didn't actually know what the threat was at that time. And then it turned out it was a weapon that Giorgio had ordered.
Yeah.
They could have.
What a surprise.
I know.
That was almost as stupid as we need to create a bomb. I'll go get a teddy bear. That's just so idiotic at the end. But the whole thing with Giorgio, though, surely they could have come up with a reason why she was involved. And for me, they could have just done something like okay, it's to do with the Romulans. What are the Romulans like in the mirror universe? Or what is it? Blah, blah, blah. Or they could have gone back to like one of the other Mirror Universe episodes, like one of the Deep Space Nine episodes, or the Enterprise Mirror Universe episode, where we saw, the Thorian Web episode, or something like that to explain.
I'd have done it where she got a device and she wanted to get back, but through going back, it'll wipe out a few planets. And that's where I'd have gone with it. There's some device, but it's so it's a crossover. It creates like an energy field that's quite destructive, and she wants to get back there, and they have to stop her. I would rather have gone with that.
I think that the Mirror Universe really is done. I mean, it worked very well in TOS, obviously, the first time we saw it. It worked good in Deep Space Nine for the most part, and it worked great in Enterprise. But after that, with Discovery and everything else, it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm not excited about seeing that universe anymore. It's kind of, it's so over the top.
Other than the Defiant episode in Enterprise, I never was. Like, as I've said to you before, Mirror Universe and Evil Twin stuff just doesn't do it for me. I always think they're shit stories.
Back in the day, it did. But I think they've built it so much.
I think
now.
it's done now.
We know what happens in the future. We know the humans are fighting for the freedom now. And leave it. We need to move on from that now.
I don't think they'll go back again now after all this. I can't see them ever bringing back the Mirror Universe. I'll be very surprised if we saw it again. It's a shame.
I don't get contract or not, because Secret Hideout would. 100% Secret Hideout would. It's just whether they get a deal.
Yeah.
Even in this, you could have had the temporal police turn up to because obviously her being from another universe and in the wrong time must have ticked every box for them. Why were they turning up trying to bring her down?
I can see that.
Stop what she was doing, or use her. To be fair,
could that be an idea for a Star Trek series about the temporal police?
Yeah, it's going to be very good. You could set it in any time period you wanted. Much like Time Tunnel or Sliders or any of those kind of series, you could easily have some reason they can't go back.
You just have to have somebody in charge that actually cared about Star Trek and actually considered the canon. Because if you're going to jump around time frames, you've got to be a bit careful. Because
this is what I think when you said the budget for this was 25 million, and I thought if someone gave me 25 million, the first $500,000 I'm going to spend is searching for the writers. And I don't mean that's what I'm paying the writers. I mean that's what I'm paying to find them. Because if you think of something like The Outer Limits or Twilight Zone, just the huge number of writers that would fucking incredible, the stuff they were writing for that. So there are writers out there that are brilliant. There must still be them. So 500 grand, $500,000 just to find decent writers.
But you never do. Where are they all?
Making the show.
The writers of Fallout. The writers of Fallout. People like that. It's they are there. But
I don't think they can.
I
don't think they can.
Why? Why don't they care?
We've seen that the writing just is not good enough.
No.
Well, can't they bring the original writers back, Raymond? Can't they come back?
A lot of them
from like the 90s.
Now, but I mean,
Burnham and all that.
Donald D. Moore's going to be doing the new God of War series. So they've got jobs. But
I still think one of the best writers we've seen is Terry Matalas on Picard season 3. That was my favorite.
Since
he's come back.
Been busy. Very busy for the next 10 years. So
I mean, he's very good at using like fan service and stuff. But like I said to you before, if you take away all of the nostalgia of Picard season 3, the actual storyline was shit.
Yeah, but
everything else we've seen.
Yeah, but they did it on Enterprise, didn't they? Three seasons. I'm a big fan of Enterprise. But the fourth season, I forgot the writer's name. They got that writer in, and he changed the fourth season, and it should have gone to a fifth, but he saved it.
But Enterprise,
I forgot the guy's name, Manny Summit, and then they dropped it. I mean, the writers are out there.
Enterprise just took too long to get people's attention. It's now looked upon very fondly by a lot of Trek fans, but initially,
if that Manny guy had gone in from season 1. Yeah. It could have been. It would have got 7 seasons.
Next Generation it was given 3 series to begin with. It almost didn't last past that.
No.
The original series didn't last past 3. Star Trek Deep Space Nine wasn't going to until they brought Defiant and the Boring. Voyager wasn't going to last past 3 series, so they brought 7 of 9 in. So I don't understand why Enterprise wasn't given that lifeline. that all the rest of them were.
Didn't I hear that somebody who worked higher up really couldn't stand Star Trek and he wanted to cancel
Yeah,
it?
there were a new board
one of the-
directors. A
Yeah.
new board came in and wanted
Somebody
to do it.
really wanted to get it because obviously it's expensive
Yeah.
and he wanted just to finish it. And I think
reality
that's,
TV. He wanted to do more reality stuff.
yeah, that's what I heard that.
The bit with
He then went
Enterprise,
to the
where I thought,
CW and the CW for them.
but the bit in Enterprise where I thought, oh, now this is where the show should be going, was when the captain of the second ship is on a hiking trip with him, and she goes, oh, and she's all excited and says, what should I bring?
Columbia.
And he's cynical as fuck now. He's just like, more Marines and stuff like that. You're going to see people killed every day. That's when I thought, now this show's going to be epic. And ironically, it was 2 days after that episode, I'd watched that episode, they announced it had been cancelled.
Yeah, I know. It was awful.
It was.
On this note, I suppose we're going to let Marty's going to go. So we always do our end of show. We're going to rate it out of 10 and whether we would actually have it in our collection. So, Martin, would you have Star Trek Section 31 in your collection, even to be a completist? Most difficult question I've ever asked him, I think. Oh, he's all frozen up. Hang on. Okay, it's all frozen up. Oh, bugger.
Got a money. It has to complete. And I'm gonna. And I don't want to say I would have a collection.
It went out.
But that's what?
That's true. It doesn't mean I have to watch
just
it,
don't-
does it? But
Don't
it's
think of it as a
next
movie,
step
and you're
to
good.
Discovery collection.
It's not a movie. It's a. You own all the
Yeah, I'd have it in the
TV
collection.
movies or all the double episode movies that they did of Voyager and Deep Space Nine and everything.
Yeah, I
If you
know.
don't-
I
It's not a
rate
movie.
it. I'm going to rate this 3 out of 10.
3?
3 out of 10. All right, two. Right, two.
All right.
There's one bit of potential at the beginning. That beginning bit, that got me drawn in. The rest of it's shit.
All right.
One bucket, one.
And the ironic bit is,
one,
the people in the
one.
first 5 minutes don't appear in the rest of the
That's-
entire,
yeah, they're
the
gone.
entire film. They're not in it. They're literally in that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, Malcolm, what would you rate it out of 10 and would you have it in your
0.
collection? 0.
And no, I wouldn't have it anywhere near my collection.
Jay?
I'll give it a 0.5 for the first 10 minutes. It gets half a point because the first 10 minutes is actually quite interesting.
Okay.
I want to see the fight. They should have just done a Giorgio prequel movie.
Yeah, what led up to that scene?
Seen her how she became the Empress.
And you wouldn't have it in
0.
your collection either, would you? Would you have it in your collection?
No, God, no. I'm annoyed. I subscribe to Paramount Plus, and I'm annoyed it's on there. Never mind buying a DVD and putting it in my.
And yet they took Prodigy off, which I'm
Oh,
told
yeah, they
is
did
quite
get
good.
taken off. Yeah.
It's on Netflix. I have that too, so that's fine.
I'm going to be very generous and give it a 1. And I would have it in my collection because I want to have everything in Star Trek. So that's only
You know what?
because
I'm a brutal completist, and even I won't have it just to be a completist.
I would. Only because but that's quite a big thing because, you know, what's he saying? Look at him, Martin mumbling in the background. What's he saying? I hate it. I hate
I'm a
it.
completist. Yeah, I would have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not having it in the collection to complete it is like spiders crawling through my brain, and I would still rather have that than this in my collection.
It's like the latest season of Doctor Who. I would still have a copy of it, even though it was absolutely terrible because I'm a completist.
Yeah,
I
but
know. Look at Malcolm's
this.
face.
Well, Paramount's going to look at this and go, "We've sold 2 copies of the DVDs. Let's do a sequel, and it'll be your fault."
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So yes, I may have jinxed it. Well, listen, guys. Any final thoughts? Because I know that we're all going to go our separate ways, and we all got stuff on tonight. Any last words on this creation by the Paramount Plus people?
The only silver
Shouldn't
lining
have bothered.
might actually kill Alex Kurtzman's career.
I hope
It's
so.
the only silver lining.
I know, but he always seems to come back, isn't he? He's kind of like he's like a ball on a rubber, sort of like rubber ball and elastic on the bat. He's sort of like, you throw him away and he bounces back.
It's like when you flush the toilet bowl.
He's a floater.
You're still clinging.
He's a floater. Yeah, I
But
get
I'm
that
hoping
analogy.
it finally ends Michelle Yeoh's career, because I don't get why her and that Ming Na Wen are like everyone's go-to Asian lassies. I don't understand it. I don't think either of them are very good at what they do. I know
I
she's
like
won an
Ming.
Oscar, but
I
that
like
means
Ming.
nothing to me.
I
I
like
love
Ming
Michelle
Na.
Yeoh.
I
She
really
was in,
like her.
yeah, she was in Stargate Universe and Mandalorian, so I didn't mind her. I
She
thought
was
she was
in
fine.
Shield.
Yeah, didn't like her in Stargate Universe, didn't like her in Mandalorian, and I didn't like her in Agents of
Agents of
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Shield.
Oh,
I
okay.
loved her in Shield, but I didn't particularly like her in SGU because she was. If she hadn't been in it, it wouldn't
You
have
would
been
have
any-
missed. Yeah, yeah.
No.
I
Yeah,
didn't
you
mind
wouldn't.
her.
I
I
But
didn't
she
agree
was
mind her.
with
great
I
in
agree with
Shield.
that.
I'd loved her in Agents of Shield.
But she's better than Michelle Yeoh, I think,
Sure.
personally. I think she's better than
No,
Michelle Yeoh.
I adore Michelle Yeoh as well, but I like her maybe not from her acting ability. I like her from more of a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and all that stuff. I respect her athleticism, but she can't do that. Do you notice that she didn't do any
she's
of the
less
fights?
physical
No,
in it.
well,
Yes, yeah.
I
I saw
watched
that.
another review of this where the guy basically said her stunt work in this was shit, but go back to her early days, and I think she made a lot of stuff in whatever her native country is, and I won't name it because I don't know it, but she made a lot of films there, and she's an exceptional martial artist. Like when she was younger, she was incredible.
She's well in her 60s now. She is an older
Well,
lady.
nice
But
as
no,
well,
it's not.
Marley.
A main reason why the stunt work is shit in this, and because either it's not her or it was just done so quickly because they didn't have time that it's just not good.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for that. Next episode we're gonna be reviewing Fright Night that Martin wants to check out, which I've not seen for ages. There's a new version of Fright Night which I've actually only heard about. I'm gonna check that out.
Can
as
I
well.
come and just talk about that because it's better?
What the newer one?
The newer, it's one of those rare occasions they do a remake and it's better than the original.
And Martin, have you seen the new one then?
Is that the one with I forgot his name, the Irish actor?
David Tennant. Jesus, Ricky Gervais got me again. David Tennant stars.
Yeah, I've seen the new. Yeah, I've seen it. I quite
I'll have to have
enjoyed
a
it.
look.
I thought it was all right.
You're all right. We'll
Because
check
I
it
was
out.
under the impression that the remake was somewhere that I would be able to find very quickly, Michael.
They
But,
did
the
make
fact that you
another
didn't know about
remake.
it seems to say that it's not.
I think it's on
They
Amazon.
did make another remake as well. There's another remake.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah,
And
it's
there's
the
a sequel to
female
the
one.
remake
It's
as well.
the lady one. Yeah.
Okay,
I've
guys.
not seen that one. I just like the David Tennant one.
Well, I'll
It's
definitely,
bad,
I will
it's
check
bad
out the
now,
new one,
too.
definitely. All right, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to leave you with a very funny clip of two extremely thick Daleks invading the TARDIS, and they don't know what to do with themselves. I just saw this on YouTube. I thought it's very funny, and I thought it was worth a share. So you enjoy that. Thank you, Jay, for coming on board. Any, I'll obviously send links to both your YouTube channels, and anything quickly you're going to discuss on your channel that you might want to let people know what you're doing coming up.
You're talking to me then. I
Yeah, I'm
missed the
talking
first.
to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah.
I'm ready for time. The stuff I'm hearing about Kurtzman, as we're talking about Star Trek, I dropped yesterday, is quite interesting. I don't know if it's just like a knee-jerk reaction to some of the aggression that we're seeing, but it does feel quite hopeful that he's not going to be getting a new contract next year. So
Fingers crossed.
Fingers
Fingers crossed.
crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Guidance have got a plan.
Okay, well, let's have to see what it goes, and time will tell. Thank you very much, guys. We will see you next time on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Live long and prosper. Thank you.
Live long and prosper.
Adios. Bye-bye.
At last, we have secured the Doctor's time machine. We must bring it to Skaro. With this technology, the Daleks will reign supreme over the entire universe. That is correct. Proceed. Yes, we should proceed. We do not have time for this. The Doctor could return at any moment. We must bring the time machine back to Skaro. We are in a time machine. The imminence of the Doctor's return is irrelevant. Acknowledged. You may pilot the time machine to Skaro in your own time. Yes, you. I thought you were going to fly the time machine. Was this operation not your plan? This operation was my plan, but I enlisted you so that you could fly the time machine. I cannot fly this vessel. What? You lied? This is blasphemy. Exterminate! Exterminate! Requested a pilot for this operation. I can pilot Dalek vessels. You did not specify working knowledge of Time Lord technology. This is true. You will not be exterminated. The Time Lords have long kept their technology secret from the Daleks. But Daleks are geniuses. Now that we have access to a TARDIS, we can extrapolate this technology ourselves. Agreed. Daleks are superior to the Time Lords. We will learn how to fly this vessel before the Doctor returns. Correct? Did you want me to? Okay. How hard can this be? What did you do? Nothing. I pressed a button. Press it again. Turn this off. I'm trying. Why isn't it working? Try something else. Nothing is working. Let me try. This is worse. At least I'm trying. Abandon ship mission. When we get back to Skaro, we will blame this on the Doctor. Affirmative.